welcome back to my channel, Bree the Baking Broker. Today we're going to be talking about different scenarios and multiple offer situations, and we're going to be baking sugar cookies, the ones you can cut out and decorate. So first we're going to start putting in our butter. It's a very simple recipe. It doesn't even need to chill in the refrigerator. So I'm doubling this recipe. It calls for 2 sticks of unsalted butter. I'm going to put all the butter in here. Once we get it mixing, we'll talk about our multiple offer scenarios. So two cups of butter is actually 4 sticks. And then it's going to mix up in my KitchenAid mixer. That mixing for like 2 to 3 minutes. Then after that we're going to mix in the eggs. So it calls for 2 eggs and vanilla extract and almond extract. So I'm going to mix in 2 eggs. You mix in the extracts after you mix in the sugar, so it calls for 2 cups of sugar. Put my eggs in there. Keep that mixing. So as we get into the multiple offer market right now, since there's low inventory, we're dealing with people putting in their highest and best offers. So if there's 10 people looking at a house, for example, in the $200,000 price range, everyone's going to try to put their best foot forward, offer higher amounts, have escalation clauses and everything. But if we are in the seller, helping the seller in that position, we want the seller to consider everything, not just the highest price the buyer is willing to pay. So we want to examine the financing that's going to be used. What type of loan are they doing? Are they going to be doing a conventional loan, a rural development loan, FHA, VA? How much money are they putting down? Are they only putting 5% down, even though they have the highest offer? If someone else is putting $5,000 less, but they're putting $200,000 down, I mean that offer is going to be a lot stronger than the 5% down who's only offering $5,000 more. We also want to consider who the lender is. Is it a local lender that we know and have faith in the community, or is it a lender that works in a different state, is going to be really hard to communicate with, who they pass off through the process to 10 different people? It's going to have a hard time figuring out who to communicate with through the process. So we're going to take into account all of those different things. How much money, earnest money deposit, are they putting down? Are they putting down $500 or are they putting $10,000? Obviously, they're probably not going to be putting $10,000 down on a $200,000 house, but we're coming into these different situations where we have a buyer who's putting an offer forward, a really strong offer, might even be beyond list price with great financing, great local lender, and other agents are, not encouraging their buyer to look at the entire picture. So, in a couple scenarios, our buyers haven't, succeeded and gotten the house, so we tell the other agent, come back to us if there's ever an issue with that offer you chose. And we've actually had like 3 realtors come back to us and ask if our buyers are still interested because it didn't appraise or something happened. And we've just been thinking about this throughout the process because if they would have chosen the stronger financing, in the local lender and everything versus just a couple more $1,000. And obviously they can't disclose what the amount was when we all had our offers in, but it would have helped them in the meantime. So we just advise our sellers to look at the entire picture and not just whoever's putting in the highest offer. But anyways, back to our recipe. So after the sugar and butter got mixed up, we have to put the extracts in. So we need to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. This is authentic vanilla from Mexico. It's really good and smells delicious. We're going to mix that up and then put 1 teaspoon of almond extract. That almond extract really gives it like a really special flavor. Then after that, we are going to put the baking powder. So we need 4 teaspoons of baking powder mixed in there. And this is a super simple recipe. You don't even have to chill it. It's annoying having to chill dough for like 3 hours before you can even cut it out. And then I need 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to put 6 cups of flour. The original recipe calls for 3, but I doubled it because I am making sugar cookies for my friend's wedding. And we have to have 50 cookies, so I just needed to be safe on the amount. You have to just kind of slowly sift in the flour. I always use a spatula to scrape the sides if I need to stop it, so to make sure it's all getting incorporated throughout the entire process. So now that all the dough is done, we just take like a baking mat and put flour out and we'll roll the dough out. We'll just take a chunk. It should be kind of firm but soft. And then kind of roll it in a ball. Put some more flour on the dough and then take a rolling pin. I like them thick, so I don't roll the dough that thin. It's almost like a 1/2 inch. So once it's all rolled out, then you just take the cookie cutter. I'm using kind of like a shape like that, and then just cut out your cookies. Cut out your cookies, and then you'll just put them on a pan and bake them in the oven. So just remember, if you're getting discouraged in the house hunting market or as a seller, just when you're putting in an offer, make sure that you are considering all of the terms, that you have a great local lender that you trust, that is well known, that will give the listing agent confidence that they can get it to the closing table. Make sure you have a strong earnest money deposit. You're never going to lose that unless you end up not showing up to the closing table or something like that, but you can get your earnest money deposit if you walk away during inspection or appraisal. But it just looks like you have more skin in the game when you put an offer in. And then just making sure that sometimes you can't put a ton of money down, but if you have the ability to do a conventional loan versus a loan where you're not putting any money down, it's going to look stronger when you're competing against other offers. So once again, we advise our sellers to look at the entire picture because we want to make sure that offer is going to get to the closing table, because if you have to start over after you've already been through inspection and appraisal and up to the appraisal where it doesn't appraise, it's really going to set you back time-wise, and sometimes we don't have that luxury for the extra time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Baking with Bree, the Baking Broker.